Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and today is show and tell number 53. I actually remembered my notebook today. So I've been kind of slow on my finished objects. My three biggest projects are all fingering weight yarn, and one is a little section every day between now and Valentine's Day. So it has been slow. I have two preemie blankets on my needles. I have a shawl, a cowl, a scarf. That's what's cluttering up my desk right now. I did get a couple of things done. So Karen Wright has published a new pattern. I will leave a link down below for this pattern. Of course, I don't have any of my coffee cups that I made these for down here, but this is her new pattern. I have not put buttons on mine yet. I want to double check the placement, but I made these for my three favorite coffee mugs, and of course I've been drinking coffee out of those like every day, so they keep getting dirty. This one is using Cotton Fair from Premier. The pattern has so you can use sugar and cream or Cotton Fair for it, and this is the other one I did with sugar and cream. Now this one is to fit a really weird size mug. It's my I would stop drinking coffee, but I'm not a quitter mug. And if y'all remember seeing that mug, it's not as big as my pineapple mug, but it's huge. So this one is to actually fit that. And they do fit them perfectly fine. Her directions are beautifully written for how to get the bottom to fit and how to build everything up. I thought it was a great pattern. So like I said, I will have that link down below. I test knit these for her on Saturday, and she already has the pattern released on Etsy now. So that is fun. That is fun. The other finished object I have is my cowl using my Lighter Collection box. I've not put a button on it. This is the Watercress cowl, and it is by Fiberflex, I believe. So I do need to put a button on the corner, which is why I still haven't finished weaving in my ends here. But it'll button and sit like that. I mean, it's just a decorative little thing. But I did get this block this week, so I need to put a button on it still. I still need to finish running my math on the Lither box, but I should have that hopefully filmed sometime today. Oh, and that's all my finished objects. It's been a very busy week this week. I did have a little bit of time Saturday to sit and just veg out. I'm definitely, obviously, doing a lot better. I'm still a little hoarse from the coughing where everything was falling into the back of my throat and just making everything gummy and goopy and yucky. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of cough. Occasionally I'll start coughing, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. I mean, there were a couple mornings where I was going through like 12 tissues blowing my nose. So I didn't have to like load up on the green cover up or anything around my nose to hide that quite as much. I loved the comments, by the way, to my little addendum that I had to throw up on my video last week. Y'all crack me up. Y'all crack me up. No, I don't wear heavy makeup generally, and it is hilarious when I do have to load up on it. So this is my Valentine sock up through today, day 7. So I pre-did my toe, and every color change represents a day until Valentine's Day. I do think I'm going to stick with my afterthought heel, but I'm thinking about using the same rounded toe that I used here for the heel, and the actual increases are actually a little bit shorter. So I actually need to take a new measurement. I think it's going to fall in between tomorrow's color and Sunday's color. I think it's going to perfectly fall in between with that little less space the rounded toe took up. So I kind of wanted to try a different shape because sometimes, you know, that very pinched edge to the afterthought heel can be a little meh. I think there was something else about the sock I was going to say, but anyway, at the end of this, I am attaching a clip talking about my Franken pot holders. So a number of you guys have asked information, not about how to make the fold over pot holders, which Margaret Olander has a tutorial on. I'll try to remember to link that down below. But how do I keep up with my Franken pot holders when I make them? So I do have a little clip that I'll add to the end of this from where I was doing the scrubbies and stuff. With the addendum I already added to last week's video, I didn't use it. Saying I'm a lot. One of the other things that I have gotten asked about, I know a lot of people who watch my show and tells don't watch my yarn review videos. So if there's a yarn you would like me to do a review on, whether it be an old yarn or new yarn, as long as it's still available or I have it in my stash or something, I am more than happy to review suggested yarns on here. But one of the reasons why a lot of my reviews tend to be positive when it comes to the yarn reviews, whereas there's more hit or miss in the subscription box reviews, is when I've been knitting and crocheting long enough now that I don't buy yarns I don't like or don't think I'm going to like. I generally have a good idea just touching them, unless they're, horrible quality or something. I know I'm going to like working with them, and I know what kind of projects they're going to be good for. So it's not so much I like everything. There are lots of styles of yarns I don't like. I don't like the yarns with the big piece of metallic that's one of the plies in the yarn. That tends to snap a lot as you're working with it in the ball and in your finished project. So you end up with like this piece of tinsel just like hanging out. Whereas, let me go grab one. I've got another sparkle yarn that I really do like. Hold on one second. I love being able to just jump up real quick and go grab something, because I'd feel really bad if I had to leave y'all hanging just staring at nothingness. Not to mention I'm sitting on the floor, so you get some really unflattering looks at me. This isn't what I was thinking about when I said that, but something like Peyton's Glam Stripes. You see how thin that is, how fine that is, and how it's really braided into the yarn? That doesn't bother me. It does stop the yarn from being as safe or as squishy and soft as it could be, but it's not in danger of snapping, fraying, you having like big, huge chunks of your project where you're just missing it. But this is one of my favorite styles of yarns. Knit Picks makes one, and I can't remember. I think it's one of the Stroll. It's on the Stroll base with it, but it's shots of very, very fine metallic in there. So it does lead it more to like a glimmer yarn versus a metallic yarn. But a lot of the things like the metallic cotton from Hobby Lobby, I know I'm not going to like that, so I never bought any of that. There used to be one from Red Heart. There were 3 from Red Heart at one point. There was Shimmer. I liked that one. Holiday, which actually, to have that big Lurex strand running through it, because that yarn was almost a mini boucle texture, it worked great. Bernat Holiday was the same way. It had a very irregular texture to the yarn, and that Lurex settled into the yarn, and the yarn itself didn't stretch. So you didn't have to worry about snapping it with the stretch of the yarn so much. But they had one that was called, I think, Metallics. And it was almost like Red Heart with Love or Red Heart Soft, with one of the plies just being that big chunky Lurex metallic in there. Now, when they don't break, they leave a beautiful texture. But when they do snap, you lose that metallic in there, and it just kind of looks weird. It creates an artificial hole. By the way, this was Lolo did it in Beetlejuice. If anybody was wondering, I forgot to tell you what this actually is. If you wanted to buy a hank. I don't know if she has any in the shop right now. She did re-release it for Halloween this year, I believe. So she might have some in the overstock section of her shop. Another thing I don't like are the bulky novelty yarns. The terry cloth yarns, the chenille yarns, the velvet yarns. I don't like them. Never have. I don't like working with them. It doesn't mean that they're poor quality. I just don't buy them because I know I don't like them. I do have some gray Bernat blanket that I used to make the coal. And while I still don't like working with it, I don't like using it. I hate weaving in the ends on it. To make my little lumps of coal, it was fine. I mean, it's still good quality. It's well made for what it is. I just don't like it. So Pippin found my hot chocolate ornament again and decided to throw it off my desk. You know, it's a lot of yarns that I've tried that I don't like. They aren't so much that they're poor quality, especially now with so many of the yarn companies working so hard, excuse me, to keep the quality of their products up. It's not that they're poor quality. I just don't like them. It's not a style of yarn I enjoy working with, and I don't buy them. Pippin, will you please stop knocking everything off my desk? He just went and knocked the roll of tape off my desk too. So if there is something you wanted me to more specifically discuss, it could be something that's on the market, that's been on the market for a while. I'd be more than happy to give my 2 cents out into the vlogosphere about what I think about them. But don't misjudge that I just love everything. I don't. But I'm pretty good with touch recognition, texture recognition, to knowing, even at sight sometimes, whether or not I'm going to really like what I'm using. There have been things that have surprised me. I decided to review Red Heart Creme de la Creme. After y'all know, if you've been with me any length of time, I hate working with kitchen cotton. It drives me crazy. I think it's overly dry. It feels prickly in my fingers. It's just not pleasant for me to work with. However, Red Heart Creme de la Creme was gorgeous. It worked like butter. Loved it. Red Heart, I love this cotton. It's not quite to the same level, but it's still very soft. It's very manageable to work with. It dries my hands a little bit. It is still cotton. Surprisingly, this cotton fair, it's 50% cotton, 50% acrylic. That's something I would definitely work with again. Even with the really, it's a very tightly spun, rounded yarn. Had no issues with this. It glided on my hook, glided through my fingers. I had no issue working with this at all. So that acrylic did make a huge difference. And that surprised me. I knew it was softer than kitchen cotton, but I didn't know quite how soft it was. So I did kind of want to address that because I know it can seem a little artificial at times when somebody's just like, oh, I love this. 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 But because I've been working primarily out of what I've been buying or what I have bought for my own personal use, I do kind of like a lot of it because I bought it knowing I was going to like it from the get-go. The other thing somebody asked me about that I thought was very interesting was my preference with sock yarn, because a number of y'all have realized I own a lot of indie dyed yarns that are fingering weight, but I have never made socks out of them. And a lot of that is because I keep holding on to them because I think they're beautiful. Prime example, I bought it to make socks. I intended to make socks with it, but it's so pretty. I don't want to hide it on my feet. And I have 3 upstairs that I'm in love with. think it's Geek Yarns. I've got their Freddy Krueger, Ghostbusters, and Psycho yarns upstairs. And I'm like, I love these yarns. I don't want to use them on my feet. So I've got to figure out more what to do with my really nice sock yarns, because I have quite a few that I adore. I have some Lorna's Lace that I love, but I am afraid to make socks with them, and I don't know why. I've got some that Randy dyed. I've got her Cadbury egg, and there's a red with charcoal going through it, and it's a sparkle base. And I bought it intending to do socks both times, and I stuck it on my wall because it's too pretty for socks. I need to get over that. That's something I really need to get over. But in saying all that, one of the things y'all noticed is I use Felici sock yarn a lot. Why? What is it about it I like? It's soft, it's easy to work with, and it's readily available. Yeah, there's no particular reason why I use Felici more than anything else. For the Valentine's socks, this is actually one of the last year releases. This is Goth Kitty. The only reason why I happen to use it this time is I wanted the striping pattern to be even, as I do a row of color every single day. That's it. And I do like striped socks quite a bit. Knit Picks makes it easy. And I mean, I've had a couple balls that have been a little womp womp. But all in all, I mean, I've really not been unhappy with it. I mean, you're going to have a yarn on occasion that's something happened in manufacturing where it just got a little. But if I've ever had an issue with something that's in stock from Knit Picks, they have also very quickly either refunded my money if it's not in stock or replaced it if it is in stock. So they're an easy company to do business with as far as that goes. But yeah, I mean, I've used Premier Serenity sock yarn in the past. I've used Knit Picks Stroll, which was really nice in the past. The old Joanne Sensations was, and I still have a bunch of that left from back in the clearance days. So it's not just, I'm hung up on Felici. It's just, it's easy. That's it. It's just easy. If you want a more detailed review, let me know. And I'd be more than happy to sit down and walk you through how I feel about Felici in more detail, but it's not my favorite sock yarn. My favorite sock yarns are probably a lot of the hand-dyed yarns that I have gotten as far as aesthetics. But a lot of those independent dyers use the Knit Picks bases. They're bare yarn, just like I did. So it's the same quality yarn. It's just dyed differently. It is what it is. I mean, I just like it, and it's a nice, consistent product. Like I said, there's still a cough lingering around. So when it comes to my reviews, if there's something you want to know about, please ask me. Leave a comment down below and say, hey, I'd love to see you do a full walkthrough of. Or if you see something getting ready to be released and you're interested in it, I'm happy to buy something specifically to review it for you guys. Even if I know it's probably not something I'm going to like, I can at least give you an honest opinion as far as cost and quality and what this yarn might be good for making. The only thing I've just outright said there is no purpose for is that nylon Fintex yarn that I got in my Yarnspiration bag December of 2018. And that's my most commented on video as far as like people finding that video and still commenting on it, you know, over a year later. I got a new comment on it the other day and I was kind of laughing. I do know what that yarn is. I still think it's absolutely disgusting to touch. I sent it to Karen over at KB Fibers so she could see if she could weave it, because it would be, as a woven rug, it would be great. So I suppose there is a use for it. I will never work with that, so don't recommend that. That was gross. Anyway, that kind of was a tangent. I didn't mean to get on to really that far. I have gotten a couple Valentine's Day cards. This one is from Crystal over at Chronically Crocheting. And if you haven't checked out her channel recently or her Facebook group, she did draw for this month's Work From Your Stash project, and it is shawls. I have a couple of those on the go all the time. I need to double check and see if it's only fresh cast-ons. And she sent me a peppermint tea, which I love. I have been drinking a lot of tea recently. A lot of tea. And I also got one from Nikki's Crochet Nook, which I always have to look at her channel name every time I say it, because I actually talked to her on Facebook. Isn't that so sweet? So thank you guys so much for the cards. I will not be sending out Valentine's Day cards except for my one that went out with my little heart ornament. I am hoping to get some St. Patrick's Day cards out, though. I also need to start my Easter cards, because that's going to be another... That's like sending out Christmas cards. That's a lot of cards. I've also been working on my mom's cookbook. I have all the dividers done in it. I have the outside covered, so now I need to go through and put in pockets and some embellishments, and I want to put some tabs or labels on the dividers so my mom can easily figure out what it is. But I will share that when I get it done. Hopefully I'll have some time next week to get down here and do some work, but I don't know. It's been crazy. Time, money, energy, and effort all at the same time is always fun. Always fun. So I got all this. I did want to let you guys know, Kayla is doing okay. She's trying to get caught up from everything after her sister passed away. Some of the ladies in Kayla's Yarn Bingo group, Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Bingo group, did build a card this month, so Kayla did not have to worry about it, but it is available only on the Facebook page. So if you're wanting to participate and haven't seen that yet, it is on the Facebook page. It was published last night. And two of the fun squares, like, I was really excited to see these. One was give Kayla an idea for what to put in the squares, kind of to help her out, because she's still going to be emotionally recuperating over the next couple of weeks, and March is around the corner. And share a blanket pattern with the group. And I'm dying to see what everybody shares for their blanket pattern. But if you did want to participate this month, go to the Facebook group. The card is up there. Kayla knows it's there. Kayla thanked everybody for putting that together last night. So that is out there. There is no video for it this month, though. The other thing I wanted to mention is I got a message from Jennifer over at Froggy Went in Knitting this morning, and her family is reeling from a very tragic loss. They lost her nephew Monday. He did commit suicide from bullying, and I wanted to send my personal condolences and let you guys know that I know a lot of you guys have seen her posting and commenting in other videos. She does have a YouTube channel, but I think it's been about 6 months since she posted a new video. But she's very active in Instagram and stuff. I see her posting regularly on other forms of social media. So not to, I don't want to pressure anybody or say do anything in particular, but I would ask that you guys, take a moment today and say a word of prayer for her and her family. This is obviously a very tragic loss to lose somebody so young. I will link down below. There is a GoFundMe for his headstone. So if anybody feels led to donate anything, please do. And if you see her on Instagram or see her in Facebook, just let her know that you're thinking about her and her family. And like I said, please offer up prayers I mean, there's all we can do is be kind and loving to one another. And this is one of those times where sometimes just a hi, I'm thinking about you, is more than what somebody's expecting. So she's an incredibly sweet woman. I've had the pleasure of actually getting to know her through Zoom and furthering to get to know her through social media. So you guys, please just keep her in your prayers, keep her in your thoughts. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts. But I will leave that link down below for you guys as well. I think that's everything in my yarn bubble for now. You guys take care. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, please get in touch with me through my email, comments down below, or on Instagram. I do try to get back with everybody just as quickly as possible. I will see you guys real soon. Take care, you guys. Bye. Hi, you guys. So it is Saturday, January 25th, and I'm sitting here at the desk and had an opportunity to answer a question a couple of my new subscribers have been asking me about. So I'm sitting here working at the desk watching. Oh, sorry, Ella. That's not the most flattering place I paused a video at. So I've had a couple of you guys ask about my Franken pot holders. So we'll come over here to my top desk drawer here. And when I'm traveling, I just pop the lid on this box, and that has my little snips, a tapestry needle. It's got a bunch of stitch markers, my measuring tape. But also in there is one of these. And as I finish a project, a cotton project, and I try to work things down pretty low. So when I'm down to something like this where I can't really get a coaster, a face scrubby, anything out of this, I add it into one of those fold over single crochet pot holders. So like this one has coral, mod green, and mod ombre because I've already added some in to this morning. But like the coral and the mod green are from this dishcloth left over. And apparently that's the last thing I crocheted with cotton that I had scraps left over. This morning I finished a mug rug that I started last night and 2 face scrubbies. And that last little bit added like 1.5, 2 rows on here. And then I made a coaster or 2 coasters and 2 little plate chargers for Valentine's Day because I'm not feeling well and I have to think about it projects are just not working for me. So I decided to go to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Bingo card and find little simple things I could play with. So now I'm left with this little piece of pink yarn after using all that. So what I do is I just add it on. All of these I do with a size I hook. And at this point I've done like 7 or 8 of these Franken pot holders. So I just know what hook size I have. I used to make note of it everywhere so I didn't forget. I do just leave my ends hanging out in here. I crochet over them at least twice as I'm passing over them. But what they turn out looking like, since I haven't finished one recently, a lot of you new subscribers have not seen one, is they turn out looking like this. Now I have not seen this one shut. It's still open on the other side, but it's just literally my scraps. So I keep that in my desk, and as I finish a cotton project, I just immediately grab this out, add in the yarn, and I do keep a stitch marker on the double loops so I know exactly where I am, stick my hook in, and start going. So that's all I do with that. It's not anything fancy or anything like it doesn't sound like, but I have not shown one recently, and a couple of you guys have asked, you know, how I keep up with it and stuff, and I just leave it in my desk drawer in my craft drawer. That top left-hand drawer is my craft drawer, so there you go.